So, as some of you may have seen from our recent streams, we've been getting into Sea of Thieves again. We had a couple of comments online and a few bits and pieces where people are talking about the fact that you can't play this game solo, or you don't have, they don't know the ins and outs of it or the difference between the games. So I figured the easiest way is, instead of trying to answer these in the comments, just to do a quick run through of the Sloop and kind of what you can do in solo. I know that a lot of people have kind of played this game from day one. They came back, or they might have dropped away from the game like we all did. We stopped playing, we've come back because of the recent updates. We're enjoying the game a lot more now. But yeah, a lot of people seem to think that it's one of those games you can only play solo. Like, don't get me wrong, you've got to change how you play. You can't play solo the same, but I love it. And I've probably played about 2/3 of my time either on a one-player or two-player Sloop, and I actually find that I pay attention to the game, and 'cause it's a great-looking game. I pay attention to the surroundings, and I enjoy it a lot more because it's a different type of game. When you're playing with 4 players on a galleon, there's normally a job to do. You're looking at the high-end stuff or the end game bits and pieces. On a Sloop, you generally just mill around and enjoy it. It's really relaxing, actually. So I won't go through the mechanics, because obviously that's the same from a galleon. Harpooning, missions, all stuff like that, what you can do in the game, it's all the same, just different locations. What I will do is I'll give you a quick run through of the Sloop, because a lot of people know the galleon and know the layout. There are a few things on the Sloop that are kind of more convenient. So for one, you've got the cannibal chest right here. Unlike the galleon where you've got to run downstairs to the first kind of floor and then load, it's more convenient for there. The Sloop's made to be able to be piloted or steered with one person, so a lot of things are more convenient. The biggest one is the map table. So obviously the map just functions as normal, but if we just zoom in here so you can see a little, when we go upstairs, so you're doing your bits and pieces, you've got your anchor and your steering wheel here, so everything can be kind of commanded with one person with your sail controls. But also, if you look over the back, there's your map. So there's none of this where you've got to keep running up and down. Obviously, if there's 2, you can have one person there. But what I'll generally do is try to get it as close as I can to see where I'm going. If I'm going to Daggertooth Outpost, I can... well, that's just popped up. I can just use this, use the wheel, hop over and check where I'm going. So yeah, it's let's get sailing. The main benefits of the Sloop compared to other boats is obviously it is quicker. It's a lot more manoeuvrable, so everything is quicker. So you can see that to raise the anchor is a hell of a lot quicker than doing it on a galleon, which is painful, especially if you're doing it yourself. They're also the fastest ship going into the wind. So obviously, as you know from Sea of Thieves, you're always looking to angle your sails to get the best speed and stuff like that. If you are being chased by a galleon, because it's the internet, people are going to be that way out. If they want your loot or just to blow you to pieces, just turn into the wind. Turn into the wind on a Sloop, get your sails down, and you'll be able to outrun any galleon. The second thing is your maneuverability. So on the wheel, it's 1 turn to go full lock. So compared to a galleon where it's a lot easier, it's a lot harder for them to correct their course, on a Sloop it's so much quicker to just respond to whatever you need to do. So yeah, it's like any game. If you don't have a group of people and you want to play solo, you need to consider how you're playing it. Your strategies do change. You don't have the firepower of a galleon. A Sloop's not really going to go up against a competent team of 4 people and outgun them, but it can easily outrun them. So some of the things I do when I'm playing solo, I don't really worry about voyages. 9 times out of 10 what I'll do is I'll just kind of sail about, we'll pick an island, we'll see what's on there, because you can still get reputation from turning any of your normal bits and pieces anyway. So if you turn in a skull to the Order of Souls, you still earn reputation with them. You don't need to worry about having a kind of an active voyage to be able to do it. So that was a big realisation for me, because I was constantly trying to do these voyages, and when you've got someone else kind of moored up, or you're waiting for someone to leave an outpost just so they don't attack you and take your loot, it gets ridiculous. Whereas with this, you can just sail around freely, kind of enjoy the seas a bit and do what you want. And I kind of find that I'll stumble upon shipwrecks, or I'll do other bits of the game that I don't really consider when I was doing voyages, I'd spend so many hours kind of looking at maps and trying to find buried treasure that I missed out on loads of stuff. Like I never really bothered with shipwrecks until we started doing it in 1 and 2 man sloops. So yeah, the other thing as well is maneuverability. So when you're parking in particular. So what we do, if we have a little look at some of even the outposts, you'll see there's like a little inlet in some of these. So I normally go to Cannon Cove. That's a good one. So what you can do with a sloop is park it in this bay. And what it means is because over here you've got Golden Sands, Crescent Isle, but you've got your back to most of the map. What will happen is you run there's chances that people will sail past here and not even see you moored. So it's all about just how can you avoid losing any loot you've got, especially if you've got a hull full of it. So what we'll do is we'll just go to this island and have a little round while we're going. So yeah, as I say, I love the sloops. I appreciate that people like getting on and they're playing with a group of friends. We've had a few comments saying that they don't know people that play, or they don't have people playing all the time, so they only play it when they've got a group of them on, which is fine. But I think there are also things that you don't really want to do when you're in a group, which I've kind of picked up solo. Like the hunter's cool, catching fish, cooking them and then selling them to get the commendations. I don't really want to take a whole galleon over there just to try to get a commendation. But yeah, it's quite good fun in solo, doing a bit of fishing, very chilled out, very relaxed. What you'll see is the anchor drop time. And there you go. So yeah, to get that up will be a lot quicker. So when you are on islands, just make sure you're scanning the horizon and stuff like that. You do obviously get some friendly players. You can use alliances and whatnot just to earn some extra gold, but everything runs a risk. So if you've got no gold and nothing to lose, or no treasures, go for it. Why not? If you're full to the brim, it's probably best just to avoid them to not run the risk. Daisy Crosby. I think I saw some green treasure on the bank as well, so we'll have a little look at that. Probably better ways of killing these guys, but one thing I haven't really got up to much is close quarters combat, so if you've got any tips on that, feel free. Right, let's grab the skull. There. Here we go. We had a mermaid gem. Ooh, green shiny. Karen will be all over this. Another mermaid gem. Nice. So yeah, not a bad little haul. So this is what I was saying, is that you don't have to worry about voyages or quests for particular merchants, because what we're going to do is, just out of this one island, we're going to take these 2 mermaid gems back, which you can sell anywhere. So whatever kind of faction you want to level up, just make sure you're selling mermaid gems to them, because it helps bump you up quite a way. But we could take these back, sell a couple to the gold hoarders. We've got a skull for all of the souls. So just from checking out this one random island, we haven't had to worry about a voyage, and we haven't kind of missed out. The other thing that I do like doing with a sloop, actually, which works quite well, if you've got a little bit of treasure and you find a rowboat, I know rowboats are a little bit glitchy and people have had all sorts of kind of problems with them, but the good thing about them is you can load them up with loot. So obviously we've parked quite close to this island, but some of them, especially when they're a little bit of a bigger island, if you find a rowboat such as this and you've got the harpoon on it, they're perfect, because you can just... Because what you can do is use this to sail around, harpoon anything you need, and it works from there. Saves us doing multiple trips back. Come on, what a terrible place to push it to. Fantastic. Go. Okay. So yeah, this is some of the faffing that I know people don't like about rowboats, which is fair enough. When you get them landlocked like this, it can be an absolute nightmare. What I was hoping to do was show you that you can dock them. Don't know if we can get that one out though. But yeah, when you get a rowboat, if you take it to the back of any boat, you should get a prompt to say dock it. And it's such an awkward angle. Don't know if we're going to be able to get it. Oh, screw this, okay. But yeah, frustratingly, if I was better at piloting these... Ooh. One of the things I can show you on here actually, which I didn't know about until the other day, is the flames as well. One of the things I've noticed is when you see skeleton ships floating around on the waves, all of their lanterns are different colours. And I didn't realise this until the other day. When you die, if you take your lantern out and raise it using LT, you can take the flame from the well of flames. So I've got a green one, and there's different colours for all different flames. So you've got, I think it's white if you get killed by lightning, red if you get killed by fire, there's a purple which I think might be another player. But when you then go back to your boat, eventually, what you can do is hold your lantern up to the lanterns on your ship. So, and it will say set flame, set the lantern flame, and what they'll do is it'll just change the colour to whatever one you've got in your lantern. So what I have tried doing, I don't know if it's worked or not, I haven't got into combat when I've been doing it, is collecting multicoloured flames, put them all over your ship, and I think we can see one on the horizon there. And you can make yourself look like a skeleton ship. So sometimes what I have found is if I've been going for a bit of PvP combat in a sloop, or I've got no loot to lose and I've just seen someone else and I want to see what they've got, is I put multicoloured lanterns on and sail towards them. A lot of times people will clock them on the horizon and then they don't really pay them any mind because they're so easy to outrun in a sloop anyway that they don't really cause them any drama, so they'll just leave them and be quite happy with it, which sometimes lets you get up to them quite quickly. Yeah. That's about it really. What else can we just cover? Downstairs is all in one. You've got your grog, you've got your cooking, your food barrels, all your vanity chests are at the front. We've then got the water barrel and your wood. So it's all quite conveniently in one place. You've got your ammo and your armoury here. Your hatches can go down. If you're hauling loot that glows, I put them down, or if you're in a battle, that's always good. The other good thing I do like about a sloop though is, especially if you're caught off guard by people, if you position your ship correctly, you can use this hatch, fire out of it, and then reload your ammo straight away. So you've basically got unlimited shots. If you swap to the Eye of Reach, you can do quite good damage out of that. So yeah, that's about it really. It's let's say I really enjoy solo slooping. There's a few bits and pieces. I've tried to cover the basics of it and a few bits and pieces. It's a shame that we couldn't get the rowboat over, but what will happen when you do dock it, it will appear here just behind the map table on all of your ships. So if you can fill it up with the loot like I did, what you can do is you can attach it to your boat and then you can take it all on and off without having to swim back and forth to the island. So it is a time saver, and especially if you're on your own. The thing I don't like is when you're doing multiple trips, obviously you have to keep your boat, well, there's no one on it, so you want to kind of keep it as close as possible. I have had a couple of instances where while I've been doing long journeys around to islands to get loot, someone snuck on board and robbed something, or you know, you've come under attack. So at least if you can get a rowboat and swim it round, whack it on board, load it up with all your stuff. And also on each rowboat there's a chest just at the back, so you can also fill it up with your cannonballs and your planks to maintain your inventory and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think of for solo slooping. As I say, I really enjoy it. I find it a lot more relaxing than just galleoning, so I'm quite happy to put the game on for a couple of hours and have a chill out. If you've got any questions, whack them in a comment. We'll either reply to them, or you know, if there's enough, we'll do other videos. There's also the brig and the galleon on here, so I know galleons are most popular for streamers just because they have a full team of 4 and they can do some of the forts and the bigger bits and pieces. But if you guys want to hear about more, just give us a shout. We're more than happy to do it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.